welcome to another very special Veteran Spotlight brought to you by Mark Miller Subaru. Today I am interviewing retired Tech Sergeant Josh Smith from the U.S. Air Force. Josh, how are you doing today?
Good, sir.
Thanks for coming on. Highly appreciate it. So let's talk about a little bit about your role in the Air Force. You were a life support and aircrew flight equipment kind of manager, operator? What did you do exactly?
So I was a technician, a manager, a specialist, and I also was a supervisor, ran a couple different shops.
So all of the above.
In my career, so yes. First off, we inspect and maintained all the equipment that aircrew fly with. Any of the life support equipment that goes on an airframe. Obviously in the Air Force, there's a lot of different types of airframes. We're the guys that are on the ground inspecting and maintaining all that equipment. So oxygen masks, helmets, repacking parachutes, any type of survival equipment, we inspect and maintain it so the aircrew can actually step to that aircraft and fly a mission.
Just making sure nothing could go wrong while they're flying in air. So kind of just covering all bases there. What motivated you to join the Air Force?
So I actually, growing up, always kind of had a desire to serve in the military.
Okay.
I had a grandfather that served in the military, and he was the only one from both sides of my family that I was close with. So it wasn't something that was talked a lot about at home. And in the back of my mind, just watching movies and just thinking about the military life, and I was always involved with sports, and so being physically active, and I just like that, the camaraderie, the teamwork, because I played team sports growing up. Kind of funny, I joined the Air Force, but I met with every other branch's recruiter in high school, except the Air Force.
Except the Air Force, really?
And really thought about it a lot, and kind of ended up not doing it, and then I got married.
Okay.
I had our oldest daughter, and I got laid off of a job. And so prior to being laid off, me and my wife kind of started talking about the military thing, and I was just really kind of getting the military bug. And so once I got laid off, that was kind of like the ticket for us, like, hey, maybe now's the perfect time.
Yeah.
So we ended up joining back in November '03 was when I went to boot camp in San Antonio.
Very nice. And then it kind of spiraled from there. Where were you stationed overseas?
So I spent a year overseas at Kunsan Air Base in South Korea, just on the southern peninsula down by the Yellow Sea. And I was there from August 2012 to August 2013. And obviously, spending a year in Korea, your main job is defending the Korean Peninsula against North Korea.
So let's fast forward now to kind of current times. You're partnered up and you're working with the Air Force's Wounded Warrior program, and you're part of their team actually competing, right?
I am,
so
yes.
That's great.
I've been a part of the AFW2 program for a couple years now. I first joined back in March 2016. And one of the main reasons I got into the program was the adaptive sports aspect. Really, I was growing up playing sports, being active my whole life, being physically fit, being in the military. Now that a lot of that was taken away from me due to wounds, illnesses, and injuries that I suffered throughout my 13-year career, the adaptive sports just really hit me.
And how is the adaptive sport? Is it a great resource for veterans who are coming home to kind of be able to reintegrate back into normal everyday society?
It helped me a lot just to focus and deal with, injuries that I suffered through, giving me that outlet that, hey, there's still a way that I can compete and participate in sports. So this summer will be the Department of Defense's Warrior Games. Those are held annually each summer. And just last month, February, March, the Air Force holds their trial period. Each branch holds a trial period. So they'll have about 150 people that are in the program selected to go to trials, and then you compete against, fellow brothers and sisters who are wounded and ill, and 40 people will end up making the team roster. And I just got done doing that a few weeks ago. And great time, great experience to meet some of the new people that are first-timers on the Warrior team. So we've got a 40 team member roster of males and females that have served in the Air Force that have been injured combat and non-combat wise. And amazingly, this year I was selected as one of the team captains.
Congratulations,
to represent the Air Force team. So that was kind of humbling and honoring.
That's excellent. Well, Josh, I want to thank you for coming on and sharing everything with us. Is there a way that people, or maybe if they're interested, to watch these the Wounded Warrior Games?
I know there will be some coverage through ESPN networks, and then probably local stations at the Air Force Academy, because that's where the Warrior Games will be held. So definitely
keep an eye out for it.
Keep an eye out for it.
Excellent. Well, Josh, I want to thank you so much for coming on. That was retired Tech Sergeant Josh Smith with the U.S. Air Force. Again, we want to thank Mark Miller Subaru for sponsoring these Veteran Spotlights. We'll be back next time with more.
Hello, my name is Jeff Miller. I'm the general manager of Mark Miller Subaru. Over the past 4 generations, my family has welcomed the brave men and women of the United States Armed Forces to Mark Miller Subaru with open arms and open hearts. In addition to creating a workplace where veteran employees thrive, we're proud to support causes that sustain our local veteran community, especially the veterans who need it the most.